welcome back to another episode of the High Road Zone. Today we have an incredible guest with us. Gaby is a level 2 CrossFit coach and an IIN Health Coach and a modern nutrition certified expert. She's been at the forefront of the fitness scene in Saudi Arabia and has recently started her journey into triathlons. Welcome, Gaby. It's really nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is kind of a little bit scary because you never know who's going to be behind, but let's go for it. Let's go for it. I'm excited.
Very excited for you to be here. And I think there isn't a perfect podcast without Gaby for sure, because you've played an incredible role in my life. And I'm sure many people's lives, because us as, here in the Middle East, as we remember, we talked about the misconception of, well, if women hit the gym and they try out new sport like weightlifting and going heavy, they might start looking a bit bulked. And then again, the whole idea is that women are not portrayed as bulk and strong. So you've broken that fear for many people. I'm sure that there are a lot of newbies that will walk to your gym and they'd be like, well, Gaby, I want to go slim, I want to go sexy, but I don't want to go very bulked up and toned. So what do you have to say with that, and what is it like for the past years, and has that misconception changed, and how often do you actually address that?
Well, to be very frank, frankly, we do that a lot, especially working for a CrossFit gym or in a CrossFit gym. People just have this idea that as soon as you start that CrossFit journey, you're going to be like the main athletes that you see on TV, right? Which is it's not true. I always start with this concept of like, they are main athletes, they are elite athletes, so their job is to work out 6 hours, and I understand the fear behind, because it comes from a place, maybe it's an idea they have rooted, but it's not what they really think about it. It's just a little bit of social pressure. But I always say, just look, this is not going to happen from today and then tomorrow you're going to have those big muscles. It requires a lot of food, a lot of recovery, a lot of weight, a lot of repetitions, and so on and so forth. So why don't you start this? Let's give it a go. You got a 3 months membership, a 6 months membership. Why don't you try, go with the flow, see how the other girls are doing, get engaged with others, and I just try to remove the focus on the way that they're going to feel and try to give them a different perspective about the benefits they're going to have within the class. Like, hey, you're going to work out with other people. Maybe your next job is just with the girl next to you. You know what I mean? Sure. So that breaks the ice a lot. But it's very, very interesting how scared women are of looking a certain way. But again, it comes from a place of, what are you consuming in social media? What is families and friends telling you how a woman should look like, Yeah. So other girls, they just join the gym, no worry about that. It's just like, they just want to move. And we try to welcome them, say, yalla, come here, let's start. I know it's hard. I know you just finished your shift, but yalla, just push.
Yeah.
Just push a little bit, because it's for you. You're doing this for yourself, and it's hard. And the other funny part is just like, coach, when this gets easier? Never, because you have to explain that. As long as you're working out, your body is going to be able to push farther and farther. So they think it's just like, some people say like, 3 months, I should be at this, look this certain way, or have this stamina, or have this power, of this strength. Well, let's take it easy. There is so much outside that we don't do. At the gym is, most of the time you come to the gym 1 hour, 45 minutes, right? So it is good. So there is a lot of misconception, I would say, but again, we just try to say, come, give it a go. Trial and error, pretty much is what I try to say.
And I think it's that you brought up how it really doesn't define how you look like, because as the Olympics are going on, we recently witnessed that it comes in different sizes and shapes. You don't necessarily have to look a certain way. Athletic
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean slim, doesn't necessarily mean toned, doesn't necessarily mean all bulked up. You could come in different shapes and still manage to be the athletic or the best performer, as long as you mentioned it's a mind challenge. And this is where you come in the picture. I mean, I still remember, Gabby, when constantly you keep removing this light weights and you're like, go heavy, because I know you can. There's so much potential in you. And you've played a fundamental role, not just for me, but many of the women out there, where you constantly keep adding those heavy weights. And this is your love language. You're like, I love you. Here's your heavy weights. You're like 15. No, 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 no. We're doing 20 and 30s. And genuinely why I'm connected so much to the community, the CrossFit community here in Saudi, and I'm sure around the world, and maybe the Middle East, because this is where we're based and located, and we've seen them in different challenges like Sand Clash and Arena, etc. It's how you actually do as a community, right? And that's how we're connected. So again, with the CrossFit scene, I'm sure it has changed. You've been in the industry for 7 years, so 7 years in Saudi. How does that feel, and how far are we gone in terms of, roughly the numbers that could give me people now adhered and constantly CrossFitting around in Saudi?
Well, look, it's been massive, no? First, when I first came 7 years ish ago, it was pretty new. I mean, I'm talking about Saudi Arabia specifically. It was just pretty new. Yes, it used to be global gyms here and there, great coaches around. But for females, it wasn't a necessity to work out, to move their bodies, I would say, at that time. Now I see it like with females having more power, driving, having big charges, like work hard, finishing school, coming back from abroad, they realize that movement is a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe, I don't know how I'm going to break, but maybe it could be like this big batch of people that they just came from abroad and they saw that was part of the necessity of a human being outside. Let's say people they went to study abroad in London, in the UK, let's say Australia, the States. You see people that is very active, right?
Yeah.
So when they came here, maybe they were part of that ripple effect because they crave the movement. So their voices were listened, and all this the fitness industry just is blooming, still blooming after 7 years that I've been here. It's just like pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up. And this is just because there was a necessity,
Right.
but it wasn't addressed at that time for certain reasons that I don't have to mention. It's just the way that the country evolved, and it's just fascinating to see. CrossFit specifically has changed because I think CrossFit around 4 or 5 years ago, they have an amazing media team, so it made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Right. So that was translated to the Middle East, and a lot of people wanted to do CrossFit because it was cool, it looked cool, you can do very nice stuff, but also we have to approach and address based to the people's necessity. We cannot start. You cannot come to a CrossFit gym and just start lifting heavy. We just need to see your range of motion, your flexibility, how active have you been before, and then from that point start building up. Like you say, yes, when I see that someone can move well, I mean they're moving well, or they are just craving something, I just give that extra salt and pepper. Like, okay, go, because that's part of the motivation. We as a coaches, we need to have so many, I mean, there are so many things happening on the floor, and you need to address every single as much as possible, because your necessities are going to be a little bit different, maybe to someone that is doing their third class or fourth class.
Makes sense.
But you need to keep that fire on. So in 7 years has changed. So much people now is active, jogging, biking. You see them outside at 3 a.m., at 6 in the morning. So that is fascinating. Okay, I had a couple of ladies before that they never moved.
Yeah.
Like, look, I just came to the gym. I feel that I need to move. Okay, come. You don't need to jump a big box. Just let's start with a plate. How can I jump? Yalla, let's go. I'm gonna show you. hold her hands, and then just bring one foot on and then the other one. So you can start at that level, but then you have also champions here. You have very, 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 like, you will find great level here. But then you have to go back to history and say, how long have you been working out? Maybe they started with a different sport and they have that background. And then they found CrossFit and say, hey, this is what I love. Go for it. But also, I would like to highlight what is CrossFit. CrossFit is a sport where CrossFit is pretty much like constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity. It's not very different from doing other sports because there are certain abilities that you are going to develop, like stamina, power, flexibility, balance, speed. So you find that in other sports. CrossFit just combine them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come to the gym, we're going to show you, we're going to teach you, we're going to take you out of the sickness and just push you through wellness as much as possible.
That's lovely. You said get out of sickness and push you into wilderness. That's
wellness. So wellness, you go from
right.
sickness, you can see this big thing. So this is the fittest that you can be. Some people, they don't need to be the fittest right away. We just need to push them out of there. Like how? With some movement, eating whole foods, or just exposing themselves to the sun, even going to therapy. But that is gonna be it's something that maybe you don't have the motivation to start alone and say, okay, I'm going to the gym, be part of the community, talking with other people, we start pushing you, your coaches, those good advice that you have there, the good vibes. So you're going up into wellness, and then you can be the fittest that you want to be. It's your choice at the end of the day.
Totally. And one thing you mentioned, Gaby, is that it's you know, you take it from a holistic approach. It's a package. It's not just going to the gym. It's the food you eat, it's how you think. And what I really love about it is the how you connect your mind to how your body feels. So I think it's on an easy journey to, you know, be part of having to integrate what you feel and how you're thinking to how your body feels. And this is something that's very important. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we don't have mirrors in a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
Because I think you might want to elaborate on that for us and for the audience. Why don't we have mirrors? And what is really, no, seriously, what does it give to an individual if they're feeling and actually being mentally engaged as they work out in the CrossFit gym?
Well, you know, at the gym, there is a big rule outside and says, leave your ego outside. Okay. Not because in the mirror, you're going to like, but once you are, what do you see when you are in front of a mirror? I'm asking you, like, you start, let's say, like, oh, I need a little bit more here. I need a little bit more there. Or maybe you say, I like how I look. I really love how I look. But from my perspective, my point of view is like having a mirror is going to disconnect you from all the community that you have around you. It's a group class. You know, we cheer on each other. It's like, hey, yalla, you go, another rep. Come on. Push, push, push. But if there you have that mirror, you're going to just look at you. It's going to happen no matter what, because you cross in front of a mirror, you look at it, right? No. We want to be here. And you also have a coach. The coach, some people use a mirror at the gym just to see if their form is proper, if they're moving correctly, but you have a coach. So in some gyms, depends on the size of the classes, maybe you will have 2 or 3 coaches, right? So this person is in charge of keeping you safe, moving under the right patterns, okay, and giving you the instructions. So having that mirror is having a distraction sometimes. So that's why CrossFit, we don't use it. You have a coach. You have a coach, you have a support system. We want you here, grounded, connected, okay, that you can see what is happening. This is my point of view with mirrors. We don't have machines, we make machines.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's brilliant. Because I still remember walking in, I'm like, okay, mirror guys, where's the mirror? And literally you walk out of the bathroom and this is the only place you'd find a mirror. Otherwise you have to genuinely connect. And what I really love how we always have different quotes up on the wall and they're very realistic to what we're doing. So I still remember technique is queen. And it keeps, it's in my head over and over again. And when you say technique is queen, you haven't had an injury, obviously because of a wrong form or you've done something, or your ego is too high and you push too hard without a good technique. I still remember you telling me about the $1 million under your armpit when doing deadlifts. That stuck so much with me till this day. Anyone that has a wrong form, I'd be like, you guys, there's $1 million. Keep it safe and sound.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when you say a coach, no, fundamentally, I think a coach has more impact on someone or an individual than the mirror does. And when you say, well, we leave our egos out the door, that implies to everyone. It's a sport that humbles you. And
Oh yeah.
it
Oh
is,
yeah.
it
And
is for
some days you
sure.
just say, today is my day, and you find the movement or that combination that just, oh, I need to be a little more humble in this.
Absolutely.
For the other hand, just let me add something is having an injury or having a spasm or something is not necessary from or comes from one movement itself. Okay, it could be a combination of something. Maybe something was happening there and I didn't pay attention. I haven't recovered properly. Okay, I'm under stress, and it's just a combination of situations, and then everything happens. Okay, I'm just talking about like regular people. They are not lifting or maxing out during the class. It's just something happens, something pulls. When that happened and you approach the person, say, hey, what happened, this and that, say, well, I haven't slept well, I haven't eaten well. So it's just accumulation of situations, and then poof, it's the body speaking. That's why it's so important, as you said before, just having all the elements. How is your mind? How is your body? How are you feeling? You know, hitting the gym every day is not for the sake of making your muscles bigger or getting stronger or pushing or winning. Hitting the gym has so much benefit, like especially mentally. Whenever you go to the gym, you are just that you have an hour or an hour and a half, depends at the gym that you are going to. So it's that time for yourself, or that time maybe to disconnect from yourself. Sometimes we are just like, I need to connect with other people. I need to think in this situation in a different perspective. And when you are surrounded in a positive environment, you can take better decisions. That's why I say, like, just go to the gym, put that on the ground, like, okay, hit the workout, release the stress. You're angry, release it. Like, go for that. Just, it's very, very important to understand. And know every day, especially in a CrossFit gym, I would say here, you have to push, you have to go to the max, you have to finish dead and broken. That's a little bit of misconception too. Like, a lot of people, they think that they need to go fast, heavy, a lot of volume. If not, they are not going to get better. Well, we need to start from the point of, what is your goal? What do you want to do? You have a deadline, you want to achieve something very fast. Well, maybe we need to start from the base. We need to seek first, if you are able to hold that volume, if you're able to move those weights properly. It's so much. But I always said, you can be as specific as you want, but also could be as simple as you decide to be.
That's lovely. Yeah.
Like, it's just, I really, really connected with you because you were these girls coming to the gym with all these energies. Yeah, let's go, let's hit this. And then when we start talking, I realized that, well, you were doing triathlons, running, you were part of Jet Up Tribe and all this community. I say, now I understand. And I believe that one of the reasons is that you are so used to also to be outdoors. Like, you're outdoors and you are just connecting with everything. And when you hit the gym, for you, it's like, yeah, let's go, girls, let's do it. So that energy was just very stimulating, not only for the coach perspective. I could see how the girls, hey, I want to be here,
very
give me a little bit.
I think you're even a firm believer of how the energies do work in the world,
100%.
how the spirits, and how the universe actually is all about the energies and how you'd feel it. So if someone walks in with a contagious, vibrant energy, you'd pick it up. And honestly, this is all the time. This is how I felt, especially in our CrossFit community. People come with so high energies that you're like, oh my God, up on your feet all the time. You would push so much that you're like, okay, this is not who I am if I do this alone. And this is where my shift happened. So I have been on this mundane push-pull legs routine for so many years. And and then CrossFit happened. I love the environment. I love the people, the music. It's just, and you do it differently in all parts of the world. I did not
Yeah.
Saudi. I started abroad, as you mentioned, because I was studying abroad, and I've, you know, fit very well with the community. You do that as well. We just recently talked about the retreat in Bali, how they do that. So this is how we connect. And you're on a vacation because you want to work out with so much energy. You're quite the contrary.
Yeah.
And this is what our community, this is why I'm connected to our CrossFit community, because of the energy that you're feeding on. You go to work not tired, perhaps very energized. You're well, it's
Yeah.
all you want to give to people. And this is when I integrated as well. And perhaps this is when the hybrid life comes in perspective. I mean, CrossFit, without denial, does have intensity. And when we're talking about intensity, we talk about high heart rate levels. People do fear that. So if you'd like to
Yeah.
address the intensity at which CrossFit is operating, and the whole misconception of CrossFit is dangerous and you'd sustain injury because of the intensity.
So, well, for that we need to go back to that rule or that quote that you saw on the wall that we have at the gym. It says, technique is queen.
Yeah.
We are living in a fast paced life. We want everything fast. So again, you can connect that a little bit with outside life, like productivity. You need to go fast, you need to create, you need to produce, right? Some people start the gym with the same idea. I need to go every day. I need to go fast. I need to go as heavy as possible without realizing or listening your body.
Right.
Okay. I cannot compare a very beginner, someone that wants to start moving their body for the first time, let's say with someone like you, that you can do long endurance workouts, medium weight, relative combinations, like let's say heavy with endurance or a cardio machine, you know? So you're gonna have a weightlifting movement in a workout with a monostructural one. I cannot compare that. So intensity is relative for each individual.
Yeah.
It's just to start with. That's why when these beginners, they come to the class, they say, oh, but I don't want to look bulky, but I don't want to carry that weight, but I cannot go that fast. Tranquila, take it easy. You know what I mean? It's your journey. Sometimes I say, don't look the girl next to you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit insane in a good way. It's just to cool down, because some people get very anxious. The injuries will happen when you're trying to go too heavy, too fast, too soon.
Yeah.
And you are not being with, I don't like to talk about like good coaches and bad coaches. I think there are different approaches, okay? But maybe the coach is not experienced enough,
Right.
okay, to deliver the information that we have on the whiteboard. So this is very important. Injuries could come for many reasons. Yeah, could be maybe for a bad management from the coach and during the class. Could be, as we said before, accumulation of situations and then just something pops, right? But now the hybrid life, it's like everything. Running, if we go back, running, I would say it's in the top of injuries. Like it's the top ranked sport. So there's no good or bad. Misconception is for lack of knowledge, 100%. We always have misconception back of how come you're gonna have an idea or like how are you gonna have an opinion in something that you have never tried or you haven't studied enough? Just go for it, give it a go, try, see what this sport or this methodology has to offer. And you don't have to necessarily follow blindly something. You can take the best of it. That is pretty much right now. I just want to see how I feel, but I guess we will go further into that, like how I started doing endurance training at the moment. But I would just say, listen to your coach, try step by step. Don't try to push too fast too soon. Okay. take the benefits of having group classes, connect with people. This is so, so important.
True.
Listen to their opinion, okay, what they have to say about it. Try to stay with the positive, because negativity, there is too much outside.
And
So let's,
yeah,
you know,
take
become a
what's
cherry
beneficial.
picker.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, it's interchangeable. Knowledge is interchangeable. You'd walk in that day, perhaps not feeling great, but you'd come out with a very good takeaway from someone. You run into someone that you're like, wait, you're the person who I'm really genuinely wanted to meet today because of A, B, C, D. And
Yeah.
I
Or
think
you just said something that make my day.
absolutely, yeah.
You
It's
know, like,
very
wow.
vibrant, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of even the girls, I think they outgrew a few, like let's say they were testing the waters and they're like, okay, this is what I like, but I want to integrate it into something more. It'd be, long-term rowing, it'd be so what I really like about CrossFit is that it gives you a taste of everything. It gives you a taste of
Yeah.
gymnastics, it gives you a taste of weightlifting, it gives you a taste of, powerlifting, and then a bit of rowing. So whatever it is, even cycling, because we do that always on our machines, and it's done the right way where you actually are moving your body. So there's a huge difference between a treadmill and air runner, and not
Yeah.
everyone knows that. So
Tell
Gabby,
me about it.
tell us
Tell me
more.
about it.
Why is an air runner very different from a treadmill, and what really makes it more suitable to run on rather than a treadmill in terms of impact?
The thing is that with an air runner, you apply the force, the track. So it's
Right.
that it will be pretty much like running outside, but the air runner will have this curve. So you're gonna learn how to land.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're gonna start using. A lot of people say, no, but it's going too fast. No, it's you who is applying the force or the power, so you are just moving it too fast. That's why I say at the beginning, just hold yourself, find that momentum, and just move. Also, it's gonna force you to have a right technique, because if you are not landing properly, you're not gonna be able to use the muscles of your leg. I don't know, maybe you can say, but anytime I run there, it's 10 times harder than running a treadmill. Why? Because the treadmill is it's a machine.
It is.
You just land. You are not tracking. You are not just literally passing by. And my hamstring get on fire on the air runner. It's like, now we're working. It's hard because of that. And especially when you're used to use a treadmill and then you go there, it's just a different world. For long
Absolutely.
distance, it's just like, it's a
Very,
different world.
very painful.
It's very painful.
Very painful.
Intervals like 2 minutes here. Like, no, man, I'd rather to do that outside. Sometimes I do it. My coach says like, why are you doing that? It's too hot.
You
Just
feel better.
yeah, no, and I chose my battle, just chose my ground. Like, I'd rather to die here than there.
I agree. No, at least there is a scenery, something, a change of scenery. But on an air runner, you're fixated on literally not even the screen, the wall, and then you
The
keep
wall.
going. Yeah, it's exhausting. And
Yeah.
speaking of taking it outdoors, and I know that you've recently started working out or training for triathlons. I mean, triathlons could be, again, it could be it's just as you mentioned, at the end of the day, it's moving your body and how you feel good about it, regardless. You want to do gymnastics, you want to do sweat, you want to swim, you want to run, you want to weight lift, whatever it is. But I think we need to target here the idea of what my lung capacity is, or my VO2 max, or regardless of the name, and then adding that to now my muscle mass, and how can I integrate that to make sure that I have the best performance. As you mentioned, let's say for instance, if I have a CrossFit a throwdown or a competition, I need to perform highly and in terms of intensity as well for me to be able to withstand that. So just let's take that a step back to our conversation. We're transitioning now. So you started obviously training for your triathlons, and as we mentioned, as long as you're moving your body, regardless of what the name of the sport is. So for our audience out there, triathlons with swim, bike, run. one of the main stumbling blocks to this sport is finding the time. It's not easy for us to train for one sport. How can I train for three? So let's take a step back. Walk us through your beginning and what inspired you to do triathlons. Is it you want to try something new? Is it because, no, I think this is something that I want to do full time? Speaking of endurance, and that's a long life if I have a better lung. So yeah, Gabby, the floor is yours.
So look, everything started at the beginning of this year. I went to see I want to say a mini triathlon because it was the kids triathlon. It happened here in Jeddah, and I just saw those tiny human beings. I don't know, 6, 5, 7, swimming, running, biking, and I was like, my mind just expand. I was like, I was so inspired by them. I just felt like, wow, these tiny human beings are so capable. They were not scared. They were doing kind of open water. It's not in a pool. It's not. So it was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to do it just because being inside of the gym is so easy. It becomes your comfort zone, especially for me being a coach, training there. So changing scenarios is so important. That's why whenever I travel, I try to go to all the gyms. Like, I'm going to sign up for a gym, but that's a different story. Let me rephrase it. So I saw these tiny human beings and I say, I want to do it. I just want to do it. I know it's going to be painful. Running is not my strongest. Biking, tell me about it. Like what? Swimming, yani, sometimes here and there. So I say, I'm gonna just change. I don't want to feel like motivated, but I want to do something different and see how my training for years. I'm not an elite athlete. I'm a normal, common human being. I like to work out. I like to move, but I don't have expectations, or I'm not a competitor. So, but how I can translate years of training, strength, gymnastics, so on, into endurance, right? Well, it was so humble. When I started this, it was like, oh, sister, you need to just reprogram everything,
Right.
rewire your brain. Because in CrossFit, most of the time is fast as possible, when you have a time frame. So this is just the opposite. But I would say within 3 months, like committed to training, you can see your endurance improve massively.
Yeah.
Especially you notice that when you start swimming, because I start swimming, say, oh, I'm not fighting, because the first sessions I just felt that I was fighting against. I don't want to drown. I know how to swim, but I just wanted to do so fast. And now I can do longer sessions smoothly, not out of breath. Like, oh, I really like that. So those sensations have kept me doing it. Like, yo, this is fun. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it long term for the rest of my life, but 100% is going to be part of my training. So, and it's very, because remember, CrossFit is GPP. GPP is general physical preparation. Okay. Unless that you are very specific into sport, you need to follow a programming that complies with those goals, right? If you do classes, it's going to be kind of easy to translate into different sports. So now that I'm doing endurance or triathlon training, whenever I hit a CrossFit class, or whenever I join the class, I can see how my stamina is way better than it used to be. But you're still having benefits, because for endurance training, you do need to hit the gym, like do weightlifting or strength sessions 2 or 3 times a week.
Great.
Because you need to build the muscles, keep those joints healthy, and then you're going to be able to transfer the power, the stamina, the speed into the. So that's what I say. It goes in two ways. It's not like something, but for example, like, let me just give you another example. If I have a tennis athlete coming to my class, okay, I will first ask her if she's off season and which part she is, because CrossFit is not her main sport. So we have to keep her away from injuries in order to perform. So it's pretty much what you could see. The hybrid, it became so popular these days. Have you heard this slogan of run fast, lift heavy? It's something
Yeah,
that I see
all
popping
the
out
time,
everywhere,
everywhere.
all the time. It's good, like it's attractive.
It
Like,
is.
yeah, I do want to run fast and I want to lift heavy because it's cool. Both are very cool.
Absolutely.
But it's like, this is what I mean. It's no, you don't have to marry with a specific sport.
Absolutely.
You can just have the best of the two worlds. So that's why hybrid has become so popular these days, because people, they don't want to just get attached to something. I want it all.
Yeah,
You know,
it
I
is
want to
very
do
trendy,
everything.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm.
So CrossFit 100% gave me an amazing base to start this journey. I'm very happy. The first 2 months are just, guys, if you're going to start this, just be patient, because especially the first month is just like everything is so new. You need to reprogram. Coming from a CrossFit background, you have to reprogram, listen to your coach. I would recommend 100% from a coach to find a coach. Okay, find someone that knows what they're doing, how they're programming. If you want to hit, or you have the goal of doing a triathlon in moderate to short term, okay, if you're going to start by yourself, well, maybe you can just include 1 or 2 running sessions, not too long, depends where you do it, 1 or 2 bike sessions. So finding the time is tricky. Is you have to commit. You have to commit a lot.
Yeah.
So my split at the moment is, let's say, Sundays I have a rest day. Then Monday I have a strength. Today I have VO2 bike. You know how that feels. It's gonna be hard. And then if it's possible, because my day is kind of full at the moment, some swimming drills. No by distance at the moment, just a lot of drills.
Yep.
And then tomorrow I have some running. And Thursday, because again, my day is kind of full, I have it off. But most of the time on Thursday, I also have some swimming and maybe biking or strength. Fridays is long intervals or just an easy biking, 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours there, maximum. And then Saturday, I have running and swimming again. So it just depends. You can cope. If you are very committed, you're gonna need around 2 hours. But if you're gonna start slow, maybe with 1 hour, it's gonna be enough. So it's just like going to the gym. And for example, if you go to a global gym or a CrossFit gym, your strength sessions could be included in those classes. So 2 or 3 times a week, and then 2 or 3 times a week, you can split bike, rowing, and swimming. I will recommend 100% 1 full day rest minimum.
Yeah. And if recovery is covered, training is covered, one of the main pillars as well is nutrition and hydration. So how has that changed since you started? Is it more, what difference have you felt in terms of having to feed your body and soul when it comes to hydration and nutrition, Gaby?
Well, I mean, to be honest, with CrossFit, you also need a lot of carbs, like, because it's the main source of energy. It's the easiest one. It's not that fat. It's not going to give you that. So, but you can manage a little bit your nutrition here and there. I'm not going to talk about how many calories, because this is very individual and I don't want anyone to try to follow, because it's just depends on also your physical activity, your regular activities during the day, right? But what I had included this time is having more pre-workouts before, no? Like, okay, I'm going to the gym and just do it, maybe take espresso. When I used to drink a lot of coffee, like maybe there, or small candy. Now I just try to have a pre-workout, a little more organized, let's say. So because I will need that fuel. Also, it depends on what I have to follow in my programming. Because if it's something simple, you just evaluate how you feel. But in terms of nutrition, and especially right now, it's very hot, you have to take care of that. Just electrolytes here and there, Creatine is part of my supplements, daily supplements, 100% recommended. There are thousands of research that you can find online just to follow along. Well, when the time of a competition comes, I think I will need to organize better, because it's so important, the fueling during the competition, especially in a triathlon. So that is going to change. But again, it's like everything, trial and error, right?
Absolutely.
I need to see like what is going to be my base, especially when I believe in the next month we start just having these sessions, combined sessions of some swimming and biking, or some swimming and running here and there. I will be able to figure it out in a better way, for sure. Yeah, but you need to be fueled. You need to eat. People, eat.
Exactly. I think a lot of people hit the gym because they want to lose weight and they want to be on a calorie deficit. And I still remember how lots of athletes have been, they've been tested, and it turns out they are not performing well because they're not eating, as you mentioned. They are in a calorie deficit, and thus the performance decreases. If you do move your body, you are considered an athlete. This is something that I learned the hard way, and I'm faulty. I do not eat as much as I require to, or I'm perhaps not eating the right food at the right time. And with nutrition, so I figured out the whole how to feed off your bike or off a swim, and have to consume these gels. So it's a journey like no other, because it teaches you so many things, how to actually feel your body with long distances, short distances. It's still considered as a triathlon regardless of distances, in the memory of Mel, obviously. But now you've got the hybrid training going on, and you've mentioned the importance of strength and conditioning. Why is that? Why is it fundamental? You've just mentioned that one of the perks is, number one, is that for your joints and to keep your muscles healthy. If you're going short, it's the explosiveness you need, and then if you're going long, obviously to keep them to survive the long distance. But would you still incorporate the same CrossFit training as you're doing hybrid, or would you go easy? That's maybe perhaps a question to tackle.
Well, look, at the moment I'm working with a coach, okay? So he's providing the strength training, even though with my knowledge, and I also know my body, I incorporate some movements that I need. I'm gonna tell you this story. Last month I was on vacation, and I had my programming follow, and I was in this amazing gym in Bali. If you ever go to Bali, Uluwatu, go to Bamboo. It's amazing. So just the vibe, you want to live in the gym. It's beautiful. Anyway, so I didn't want to lose the time of joining the classes, because I wanted to be part of that energy that we were talking at the very beginning. Like I want to just connect with people, like, and work out. So the days that I have, let's say, because for the triathlon, the strength training is a little more body split, like upper body, lower body, things like that, and a lot of core stability. So I just modified. For me, it was simple because I could tell the coach what I needed, or the intensity that I needed at the moment. And a couple of times there were long workouts, and I told the coach, look, can I just do always asking for permission, always asking for permission? Is there floor? So I was telling them, like, look, I just finished my bike session, because if I had to run, swim, or bike, I will give priority to that, and then I will complement with the strength. Not the other way around, because these are the three main sports that I'm trying to develop at the moment, or the base that I want to develop. So I told the coach, I just hit this workout. Can I do 3 rounds out of 5 on my own pace? And because I'm doing this specific training, they say, yeah, of course. So you're gonna still having the benefits. Now, the situation or the main focus is the fueling between the sessions.
Yeah.
This is so important, because it's not like you're going to spend 1 hour and a half on a bike and then you're going to join a CrossFit class, even if you do it low, moderate intensity, and you're going to do the strength part, you're going to do the pulling day, whatever is going to be, is written on the board. You need to fuel in between, or maybe you need to split the sessions. So benefits massively. You're going to have more strength, right? So you're going to just go force apply. You're going to apply that force whenever you need to run or hit those heavy gear on the bike. Oh my gosh, they are insane, right? So the speed, the stamina is necessary. Is necessary. Strength training is the base, I would say, of anything you want to do around. Then depends of the athlete and the necessities of this athlete to develop an ability or a skill. You will just adapt, okay, or it's like tailor the programming for them. You're
Right.
gonna tailor the programming for the necessities of X or Y athlete. So just for me, right now, everything is pretty new. I don't want to avoid joining a CrossFit class, but I'm not gonna give maybe 100% if I have to hit, as I said before, a bike, a running, or a swimming. I try to work in this first, and when they become part of my, okay, I feel comfortable, maybe, or I am gonna be in off season, I will push the gym a little bit farther. This is also understand where are you at in your timeline. Like, okay, I wanna do the first triathlon they call here. Maybe it's gonna be, I don't know, September, October. You know better.
Yeah.
So I would like to do that, and I wanna feel comfortable. I don't wanna. I'm not expecting to win. I'm so far from that, but it's like I wanna feel comfortable. I don't wanna feel disappointed or that I didn't train enough. So that's why I give priority to this. Strength training is the base of everything.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't do a main sport, do strength training. 3 sessions a week, keep it simple. 1 day of pushing, 1 day of pulling, some core, some squats, some deadlifts here and there, and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be healthy. Because you can transfer also those to your regular daily activities. It's not only like for running or for this, it's just part of your routine.
Pretty much, and that's what CrossFit is all about. When you pick the when you pick the med ball, you're picking, let's say, heavy things from the ground. If you're carrying farmers carry for you, that means grocery shopping for you. If you're lifting something all the way up, this is perhaps your kids you're lifting. So this is what I really truly love CrossFit, because
or if you love to travel and you wanna just put the luggage, the carry on. I always say, like, the carry on, you're doing a push press. Sister, you want to do it by yourself?
I imagine that every time, literally in a in an airplane, and they would come and the hostess would be like, would you want me to help? I'm like, no, I got this, and do the thing, right?
Yeah, it's like,
you're right. So this is where it is. You're inspiring yourself to actually do better every day and do it right. The technique is queen after all, as you mentioned. And when it comes to triathlons, honestly, race fields is very different. You would get to know the flaws and what exactly you need to pay attention to, when exactly to fuel. So there are times where you're like, okay, I don't feel good right now. I still remember in Muscat for that half Ironman, I wasn't feeling well on the bike. I was like, okay, this feels weird. What am I gonna do? And I still remember the coach telling me, now if you feel oddly funny on the bike, then you have to like and so your stomach doesn't really constantly give you that ache. Whenever you need to obviously give yourself a break there, that's absolutely fine. So I think it all boils down how am I feeling at this current moment, and what do I need to give myself? And I think, as you mentioned, even Gabby, is that it's okay as a coach to take permission and ask another coach, is, well, this is how I'm feeling right now, and I will definitely need to stop. Otherwise, you're pushing me too hard. So this is something that you've touched on, and I think it would be great if you'd like to elaborate. When is it exactly the time when you have to tell your coach, I'm not feeling well, I need to stop? Or I need to change the routine, or something's not feeling okay or right?
Look, I would say just have different conversations with different coaches before picking one. Okay, have conversations of how they are. Right, I need to know. I know my needs. I need attention. I need someone to keep me accountable. What are you looking in a coach? Once you have that baseline, start talking with the different ones and see which one of them you connect. Once you have it, just go be very honest. You're putting money on that. The reason why I have a coach, first, because triathlon is not my expertise. I'm not going to try to figure it out. I just rather to learn from someone, and maybe from so many people around, right? And once you put the money on that, you're going to be accountable.
Simple.
That's what I do. Put the money, I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to keep with this. whenever I don't feel right, just approach him. It also depends of the service this coach is offering, because some coaches, they are very well structured and they say, well, we meet up on Mondays, or some other coaches say, I'm just one WhatsApp away, send me a message, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to first know what you're looking for, and then just say, but I would say, as soon as you have something, like you say, all defining, go for it. Talk with someone.
Yep.
This doesn't feel right. Why? Oh, what? Ask the question, why are we doing this? I don't feel I'm ready for this. Or let's say, I don't know, you don't know how to swim, and the coach is writing for you to do 500 meters butterfly. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Where you
excuse
at?
me, like,
Mm.
excuse me, I don't know how to float. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, for example, like, why, or what is the reason behind? Ask the question. As a coaches, we don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. And if a coach tells you, for example, like, you come with a comment, why I'm doing butterfly, and he, at least this person doesn't say like, I don't know why I write it, I made a mistake, or I don't have the answer, but I'll come back to you.
Right.
And they just try to figure it out on the go. That's a red flag. You need to have someone that is honest, even when we make mistakes, because we are human. You know, we are just human. Even someone that has all the expertise and experience outside, you're working with them, maybe they have 10 other athletes, life gets in the middle, they just write that programming a little bit late. But when something is odd, just approach with a lot of respect. Hey, coach, look, what's up here? Blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
And they will just find a way. But I would say, whenever you feel odd, approach your coach.
Yep.
No matter what. No matter what. Don't wait. Don't wait until. Especially if you're doing something new, just approach it. Why are we doing this? I feel like that. Maybe the coach is going to give you the right answer, and you're going to be able just to push through that session, or even modify, because sometimes, you know, maybe sessions are going to be too long or too heavy in terms of CrossFit or whatever. And talking with your coach to say, okay, she's telling me that she doesn't feel to push this. Okay, let's just change it and do 20 minutes of running, easy running. You're still hitting the gym. It's not a perfect session, but it's a session.
Yeah.
You get it? So it's like, you don't have to, maybe today, especially for us, we have to also learn how to work out around our cycle.
Yeah, that's very
So this is very important. So depends on the phase that you are at, you need to communicate that to your coach, because in paper everything looks perfect, but again, life gets in the middle. How you feel, I don't have the strength, maybe I don't have that perfect comment in my mind, the motivation to push through it, you know. Today maybe it's just like, hey, Yara, let's go 20 minutes, and that was it. And you're gonna hit it, you're gonna have fun, you're gonna feel accomplished because you did move your body.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason. Don't try to figure out life alone. I'm telling you this with, I mean,
Years
someone
and
that
years.
has tried. Yes, I have tried many times to figure out alone, and whenever I'm in community or I have someone next to me, I say it's much easier and it's worth it, you know. So another tip: eat, find a coach. Don't try to figure it out by yourself.
There we go. There's no harm in asking, and it doesn't make you less
No,
of a person if you reach out to someone and ask for help.
for help.
Even as you mentioned, even it's a coach requesting help from another coach. This is your area of expertise. I respect it, and so on. And of course, you're another coach, and you've got your areas of expertise, and together we make each other perfect, of course, because at the end of the day, you mentioned not everyone knows everything.
Yeah.
Let's have a fun round of questions. By far, what's your favorite leg in triathlon? Is it swim, bike, or run?
At the moment, I'm enjoying swimming because
Oh,
I
yeah.
see how, like, oh, it was a before and after. So it's like, oh, wow, technique
Improvement.
is quick.
I'm
No, it's just
gliding.
that,
Yeah.
like, ooh, at the moment, swimming is at the moment. When I started was the bike,
Yeah. But now it's giving
because
pain.
now it's the swimming. Like,
Headache.
the running is there. It's like I have done some long distance for me, like 8K, 11-ish. So, and it's like, I never did that before. That long ones, it's just like, wow, my body's capable of this. So again, whenever I'm in that dark place in my session, I remember those kids.
Oh yeah.
When I saw them swimming and running, and they were so tiny, I say, if they did it, I can do it. It's just my mind. It's just my mind. Let's go for another K, just another 500, or let's go 2 more pools, you know?
And it's
Oh,
broken down. You
when
go
I'm
like,
just
yeah.
crying on the bike, I say, it's going to be over soon. Just 1 minute. Do your best. Just do your best, you
Agreed.
know?
If it's broken down, it's simpler to comprehend. You go like, this is a 2 + 2 + 2, not just maybe 6K, right? As you
Yeah.
mentioned, it's like 30 minutes plus 30 minutes plus 30 minutes. This is like an hour, a
Yeah.
movie hour long. It's fine. We can do that. Or like
Yeah.
it's 3 songs. You know, when you break it down that way, you kind of
Yeah.
trick
Yeah. Yeah.
your
Yeah. Yeah.
mind. You're like, I'm gonna listen to your favorite band. Is it Rufus the Sol, right?
Oh, right now is very, yeah. But right now, I'm going to tell you that this is a secret, no? When I'm on the bike, on the smart training, because right now it's very hot.
Yeah.
So I just play The Crown. You know, I love royalty stuff. It's just, I don't know why I love that.
You're another world. You feel like
It's just,
you're
so
being
yeah.
lifted
So
out of, yeah.
I just play a chapter, like, okay, let's see this. Let's go. It's 1 minute, it's 1 hour. Oh, the same as my session, you know? So
Very
I'm
much
just,
vibing to
and I already saw the whole season, like all, but I'm just like, okay, something that is going to keep me there. It's going
absolutely.
to take me, like, or push me away from the pain or whatever. I mean, some there are sessions that say, no, I cannot. But I just also realized that better training early morning or at noon maximum. When I have to train later, is my performance is not great. I wake up very early every day, around 5:30 ish, and then I like to sleep early. So whenever I have to hit a session at 7 or something because of work, oof, is adds extra to my mind.
I think that
But
goes back to finding the hours for training and commitment that you said. I'm
yeah,
committed and I'll find the time regardless of how many hours, compared to CrossFit where it's just an hour of your day and you're out of the gym. Not even an hour, it could be like 30 minutes. And I think taking that short term training to a very long endurance training, it does as well challenge your mind, not just your body, to sit for hours
yeah,
and hours. So I think the real challenge, and hopefully when you do reach there, but for me was being on, biking, swimming and running for like 7-8 hours without any music. But trust me, the energy that is so powerful, you kind of feed off everyone's. You forget about
yeah,
everything else. You forget about the pain. You forget about, oh, I forgot I needed the bathroom, but that did not occur to me because of everyone having.
yeah,
And that's the importance of community. And that's
yeah,
honestly, genuinely speaking, Gabby, this is what we're attached to the gym, because we're attached to our coach that brought us as the community around them, her or him. Now, speaking of CrossFit, give me your favorite move. What is it? Is it snatches for you? Is it deadlift? Is it?
Look, that also changes. Like when I first started, I used to say like sumo deadlift high pull was my favorite. Like, look, and I'm gonna tell you this. It's a
Not
funny
mine.
story. Where we live in Colombia, my husband and I, we were living at the gym. We work at the gym, so we say, okay, whoever is birthday is coming, you have to choose. You have to create your own workout, and the
Oh,
entire class will do it. Well, sister, I chose 150 sumo deadlift high pull 4 times.
oh,
I was like,
why would
everybody's like,
you?
are you insane? Are you
Yeah.
insane? But I do remember when I first started 10 years ago or so, it was just kettlebell swings. I never
So
saw a kettlebell before. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So it does change it. I don't have one. I guess it depends on the season. Uh, but I would say right now, I don't love them, but I enjoy them. The devil presses is very, you have to do a burpee and then you have to swing. So I guess anything that I have to swing over my head, is something that I enjoy at the moment. Like,
Makes the both of us. Anything that swings. Absolutely.
yeah,
It just feels
yeah.
cool.
What
Like
about yours? What about yours?
it's kettlebells. It's the American swings for me, all the way up.
Oh,
All the way up.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love
It's
them.
so cool.
It is. It
The
feels like
kettlebells
you're
are just,
weightless. Yeah. They're whole, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
you swing them around. It's just a different movement. And because of the center of gravity and how it's shaped, it makes you feel different. And perhaps even how weights are shaped makes you feel different. The center of
yeah,
gravity.
100%.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I've had, I've been given advice that not every time you work with a barbell, try working with dumbbells as well, so you can feel
yeah.
your right is
Kettlebells
different from your left as well.
and work in different planes too. You are
Yeah,
not working also in one specific up and down. Just like it's interesting. Kettlebells, please go
it's
with
holy.
them.
Yeah,
It's just they're amazing. They're
agreed.
so yeah, 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 yeah.
Now there's so much to do, like farmers carry as well. Like there's so much to do with kettlebells.
Deadlift,
Deadlift,
squats,
everything.
presses, both thrusters. Like you can do even complex, like where you do deadlift, cleans, presses, for example, snatches. They're amazing. And if you have limited space, just get a couple of those, and you can hit a workout in front of your bed, for
You could
example. And
do wonders. Everyone pack a kettlebell if you're traveling. Forget the weight.
yeah, we did that during COVID.
Oh no, wow, you
Yeah,
did?
we just yeah, we drove to
Oh,
Al
cool.
Ula, I'm sorry. And then we put some dumbbells and kettlebells in the car, and we hit some workouts on the middle of the road.
That's so cool.
Yeah, with Coach Hillary, Saul, and Thomas. That was like, we need to escape. Let's go.
Yeah, so even if you could have some sandbags, like anything heavy makes a good workout. Trust me, guys.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to
absolutely.
be perfect. It's just move.
Just
Just
move.
move.
There it is.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think if there's one advice you'd give out for our audience, it would be just move, is it?
Just move.
Right.
Just move.
Yeah.
I mean, don't try to have everything perfect. Just start somewhere.
Yeah.
Somehow, with someone, just start. You don't have to be on a diet in order to start the gym, waking up early. No, 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 no. Just choose one. Okay, I'm gonna start moving, and then shwaya, you add on top of that list. Like, now I'm gonna just try to hit my breakfast. To
Hmm.
build my plate around protein. To try to sleep 30 minutes earlier. Maybe to decrease the caffeine. Whatever you think is, you have the answers within you. Sometimes it's just we don't want to see it. We want somebody else to tell us what to do. Because if you choose, it's going to be your responsibility. But if someone else tells you what to do, it's their fault.
That's very powerful. God,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it's just find a support system that pushes you to be a better person, a better human being, and takes you out of the comfort zone. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to start over the roof. Just, okay, go to the gym 3 times a week or go for a walk. Well, it's very hot. Walk in the mall. We see that all the time here in the Middle East. That was for me like, what? People walk at the mall.
Yeah. They design malls
Yeah,
so they look like a tracking field. I'm serious.
yeah,
Like,
girl. It's
Haifa
so
Mall, for
true.
instance, literally, it's
For
a
me, it was like,
proper circle, oval shaped. So it's a
and then I
circle.
found out that, for example, in Riyadh, I found an Instagram page, and there's this group of ladies. They say, welcome, we walk at the mall. I don't know the name of the mall at the moment. It's like
So
2 or
cool.
3 times a week. And a lot of expats, in order to meet others, they just
They
join that.
walk in the mall.
It's beautiful.
It
I mean, the
is.
idea is kind of like, what? But it's so hot. Okay, that
Yeah.
is great.
So at the end
That
of
is
the
just
day,
great.
just move your body, regardless where, when, even if you're working. A lot of people tend to find time to walk, even around shifts. Just
Yeah.
move
Around shift, yeah, just move
all the time.
or
Yeah.
start. I highly recommend start your day taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, again, you need to start from the point of trying to sleep a little bit earlier if
Yep.
your class is at 7 a.m., but the benefits are great,
Massive.
amazing. And I'm so thrilled to see, for example, how 7 a.m. classes are so packed at the moment.
Yeah.
That shows how people is just taking care of them before going and taking care of their responsibilities. Now, first is I'm going to take care of my body, my mind, so I can hit my work in a better mood. That's amazing. you hit the gym at 7 a.m. and you see 18 ladies working out alongside, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's pure expansion for me as a coach.
And
It's
I'm
just
sure
pure
after
expansion. And
7
also you
years,
see how
yeah.
culturally things are changing.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
I'm sure because you are in the field of play after 7 years, you've seen how far gone people are, how they've changed their mindsets, how well, if you said start your day by moving, then you're gonna have a great day ahead regardless. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
you're gonna take better decisions, 100%.
Absolutely.
Another thing, start your day at 7 a.m.
Oh,
Hit the
7
gym at
a.m.
7 a.m.
Yeah, clock in at 7 just with Gabby. Gosh, Gabby, there we go.
No, even if it's not with me, just for yourself, do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, go to classes, or okay, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna do a yoga flow in front of the TV at 7 a.m. before going to my job. That would be amazing.
Take
You're
care
gonna
of
take
yourself.
better decisions for sure. That would be go sleep early, wake up early.
As simple as that. I think we go back to the fundamentals, how our ancestors were like, they would sleep,
Yeah.
sleep by dawn and wake up by dusk. It's beautiful. Gosh, Gabby, it's been a wonderful journey with you. And hearing about your experiences, it's just something that's mesmerizing. Where can our listeners find you online or learn more about your coaching?
Well, you can reach me through Instagram.
Yeah.
Is at Gaby Mas, at GABYMAS. If you have any questions, I could help. I love to hear people's passion, history, stories, like how they want to get better. And as I said, just try to connect. Just connect with others. Share your experiences. Let's grow together.
Absolutely.
It's
Life
better.
is so short. Absolutely.
Thank
God,
you for your time. Thank you for having this space. Because I know it's easier maybe for others to listen. No, you don't have to be a celebrity or an influencer. Just when you see that regular people is doing this, it's gonna be maybe easier to connect. What you're doing is amazing. Just also exposing too much content, knowledge. So yeah, like yada, keep going. Never
thank you,
stop.
Gabby. Gosh, the platform
Never
is
stop.
for everyone. Yeah, let's keep growing together, as you mentioned. It's the community that connects us. Gosh, thank you so much for joining us, Gabby. Your insights have been incredibly valuable. And to our
Thank you.
listeners, thank you for tuning into the Hybrid Zone, and we'll see you soon in the next episode.